Hello and welcome to VG 24/7. My name is Alice and I'm here with Dave Miotke, aka Sim Guru Ninja, to talk about all things Sims, from Sparked to Sims Medieval, Disabilities in The Sims 4 and the new game pack leak, and what our favourite iterations of the Sims franchise have been. If you enjoyed today's video, please do like it and subscribe to VG 24/7 for more videos like this one. We cover all sorts of video games, from The Sims to The Last of Us Part 2, so there's something for everyone. Well, thank you for your time today. I guess we'll kick things off with, why did you want to make a Sims reality TV show?
It hasn't been done before. It's so interesting, right? The Sims is not a competitive game.
No.
Right? It's not a competitive game. You're not playing against other people. And yet, if you go and look at our community, there's a thriving challenge kind of community out there. Everybody kind of building on each other's work and tweaking it and re-uploading it to the gallery. So I think there's something super interesting about taking something that's not necessarily competitive, but then putting it into a competitive space. I just find it absolutely fascinating. And I think we've seen it with, several different types of reality TV shows, but we haven't really ever seen it done with a video game. You usually think of those as those esports that, those kind of typical kind of video game events. So this just felt very fresh, very different. And it's just kind of cool to do something new for the first time and be the trailblazers on it. It's
a very nice kind of take on reality TV because it's not really very drama filled or whatever. It feels very nice and relaxed. I don't really watch much reality TV. The only reality TV I do watch is RuPaul's Drag Race, which is complete flip side on the drama scale. So it's just quite nice and relaxing to watch.
Totally. I think all the drama that comes out of this show is just natural drama. And I mean, if you really just kind of put yourself into the situation, imagine you're just a top tier simmer, and suddenly you kind of get pulled out of your comfort zone. And now you got big money on the line, team-based competition, crazy time limits, new challenges. It's really, really tough and difficult. And it was awesome to see them rise to the occasion, and what came out in those conditions was super cool.
Yeah, they're really impressive things that they come out with in really short amounts of time. I am not that quick at anything in The Sims. I don't know how they do it. It's so impressive.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. These are amazing simmers. Each and every one of these contestants is a dedicated simmer. They have countless hours that they've put on the game, and these challenges are really designed to test their expert limits. I would not expect, a casual simmer to come in off the street and be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do half of the things these contestants did. So the challenges were definitely pretty extreme, but I think it really speaks to the capabilities of these dozen contestants. They not a weak one in the bunch.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting thing to split the teams into storytellers, stylists, and builders, because when I first started playing The Sims, I was all of them. I did everything, and now I'm very much just a builder, and that's what I prefer doing. Do you think that it will encourage people to dip their toes into all three things now, or do you think there's still a lot of worth in just sticking with one thing?
I think The Sims is a game that you can play in many, many different ways. You can be just a builder, just a storyteller, just a cast artist. But I think most frequently, you're maybe a little of all of those things. Or maybe you're heavily indexed on one, but you still delve into these other areas. So I don't think it's meant to completely separate and segregate players into these types. Because I think, as you see on the show, when a team is formed, they're not strictly I'm only doing this and I'm only doing this. They all come together and they all have skills and experience that kind of outside of the role that they were in. And they all kind of were able to go outside of that role as a team and kind of come up with story or come up with cast. So hopefully it just encourages people to try out some new things, maybe things they weren't comfortable with before, or they didn't enjoy, didn't quite understand how to use or what the value of it was. And maybe that'll get them to look at it again.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. taking it into the gallery and allowing other people to upload their own creations as well with their own challenges. I think that's really great. I haven't done anything
I love
yet.
the gallery.
I love the gallery too. The gallery's great because I don't really ever build with Create a Sim anymore. Like going in there and finding other people's Sims that are amazing is just so good. And I used to be the same with builds. I used to think
I was great at cast, and then you go to the gallery and you're like, nope, not at all.
Not even a little bit. Yeah, some people make incredible things in Create a Sim. I cannot. I make the same looking Sims over and over again.
Yeah, gallery is one of the things that's like, that's fresh and new to The Sims 4. And I know because it's not directly in the game, I don't think people look at it a lot, but that's like one of the things, I'm most proud of, out of Sims 4, that ability to take our community and connect them even closer together, I think is like super, super powerful.
Yeah, I think it's just a nice tool to share things. It's just a really great thing. It brings the whole Sims community together in a really nice way. So do you think The Sims Sparked is like, you said it's not really like esports, but do you think it could be like the beginning of an esports kind of thing with The Sims? Like, where do you see it going in the future?
You never know. The future's the future. You can't really predict anything. I can say I loved season 1 of Spark. I thought it was super interesting and very entertaining. I think there are so many directions the future can go in, so I'm just really excited to see kind of what shapes up and what surprises we have in store.
I can't wait to watch the last episode. I'm really excited.
Me too. I like seeing people's reactions to it.
Yeah, there was a lot of with English Simmer going and then come back, and it was like, oh, it was great. It was really good. One of the challenges in Sparked was Parenthood Generations Challenge. Did you decide to include this so you can show players that there is like generational gameplay in it? Because I know that's like something that a lot of Sims players do think, that there isn't much to do with anything other than like young adults. Did you include this to kind of prove that there is?
So, and I'm sure I'll get plenty of pushback on this. There was nothing done in the show that was meant to be an overt commercial for The Sims 4 or meant to showcase a certain aspect. These challenges were designed around the players. They were designed specifically around the contestants. And really what we wanted to do is make sure that there's a wide variety of challenges that are hitting all of their different skill sets. Because, some of them are good at doing something on the fly with no practice. Some of them need a little bit more time. Some of them are good at this. Some of them are good at that. So I think what we tried to do is have a variety of challenges that would hit all of their various skill sets at different times.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the transportation challenge. That was so good. I wouldn't have thought of the time machine.
That was one of my favorites. I thought that was now both contestants did exceedingly well. Like, again, they both did really, really good. And yeah, Ashley's creativity was pretty incredible in that moment.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't.
We were very impressed. Like watching it live, it was pretty undeniable how well she did at it.
It's really proven how much of a sandbox The Sims 4 is, because like I use debug items and all of that when I build, and you can use...
Cheater!
That's what my streams say.
No judgment.
Like I recently, for Rock Paper Shotgun, I built Trevor's trailer from GTA 5 in The Sims, and it was a massive challenge. I downloaded a lot of custom content for it as well, but I ended up using like cabinets for things that weren't meant to be cabinets and stuff, and it's just a really great way of showing off its sandboxness. I feel like a lot of people don't see it as a sandbox. Like when you start building in those kind of ways, it definitely feels like Planet Coaster or Planet Zoo in the way that you can manipulate items however you want.
Totally. Simprove's mind build in I think that was episode 2 was amazing. Like that was an incredible build. The way she was able to pull off that mine by sizing up certain objects, using VFX emitters in creative ways, like it was pretty cool. And now I'm seeing like even more, like every day I'm seeing new simmers like popping up with these ridiculously inventive builds. And I'm like, how did you didn't use The Sims 4 for this, right? Like, how did you do that? And they're like, no, this is base game only. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's an incredible building tool. I absolutely love it. It's definitely my favorite of the series to build in. I think it's got so much on offer. So another thing that's not really Sparked related, but The Sims is a pretty inclusive game. with everything that it has. It prides itself on inclusivity. It has done since its first game, but there's still like no real representation of disabilities. And I was wondering if that's something the Sims team are thinking about, or if they've put thought to it and realized it wouldn't work, or what you're kind of thinking of with that.
So you said it yourself. Inclusivity is incredibly important to us. We hear the feedback all the time around where are our areas to improve. And we're committed to doing those things. You know, we're going to move into the areas that we can. We want every single person in the world to be able to see themselves in The Sims. That's always a goal of ours. Now, a lot of these things have technical challenges. How exactly do we pull it off? You know, how can we get this in? How can we release it? So nothing is easy. Video game development is not easy. It is a very difficult thing to do. As fun and rewarding as it is hard. So I don't want to use that as an excuse. We always have room to improve, and we're always going to try to improve. But beyond that, I can't speak to any specific future content that we may have planned.
Yeah, of course. Like the pack release that was leaked recently. Can't speak about that either, but I'm excited to see what that is, because there's been lots of speculation on the internet about what it could be.
That's great. I haven't seen any speculation or anything. That's nuts.
No speculation. Oh,
weird.
Well.
So weird.
You're not following the right people. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be. I can't wait.
Game packs are fun. It's going to be a super fun game pack. We know a game pack's coming. That's all I know. They don't let me know anything.
No, that's all it said on the roadmap. There's no leaks. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. What has been your favorite pack to work on so far?
Favorite pack to work on? I would probably say Vampires.
Yeah.
The Vampires game pack. That was just so much fun. It was just like, you know, it was just a fun supernatural kind of romp, dark little world that we made. And then our lead designer, Eric, I think he did a great job with the progression system, the vampire powers and weaknesses. I just have so much fun kind of playing and customizing just the vampire that's in my mind at that moment. So that was a lot of fun to work on.
Yeah, I love the skill trees that come with aspects like that in packs. It makes it feel like RPG, and I like that. It's like a bit of a crossover between two of my favorite things, and I like that a lot. So you've worked on a lot of The Sims, haven't you? You've worked on Medieval, you've worked on My Sims, you've worked on...
How do you know these things, Alice?
Maybe I did my research.
You did your research! Yeah, no, I grew up playing The Sims, and I've spent a good portion of my adult life working on The Sims. So yeah, I've definitely been around the block a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my first Sims that I owned was The Sims 2, because my dad wouldn't let me own The Sims 1 because I wasn't 12 yet. So I played it at friends though. So
Sims 2 was like one of the first games that like just grabbed me and like didn't let go. Like one of those games where it's like I'm playing for a few minutes and then I look up and the sun's rising and I'm like, where did the last 8 hours go? Sims 2, I remember just being completely blown away.
Yeah, The Sims 2.
Staying up all night playing that, yeah.
Yeah. Another one of my favorite times of The Sims was when you brought out the medieval one, and I loved that because Turk was on the advert, and I loved Scrubs, so I was a big fan.
The Turk commercial was so much fun. And then having, Sir Patrick Stewart being the narrator, that was like amazing. So amazing. That was a really fun game too, doing the pit beast and the sword fighting, all of that was a lot of fun.
Are we going to get any things like that in the future? Because we had Castaway Stories, Live Stories, Pet Stories. They were all really great as well. I loved Castaway Stories a lot too, and I liked all the little spin-offs, and I kind of miss them. Would we get anything like that in the future?
Oh, I remember Castaway Stories on the Wii.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the good old Nintendo Wii. So I think the future's pretty darn bright. We have a thriving community. We got a great Sims 4 game, and I'm really excited about the direction that we can take this game with the community. I feel like a lot of the essential packs are out now. You got your seasons, you have your university. So I think it gives us a really cool, unique opportunity to now start doing some new and different things. So yeah, I'm very excited about what the future of The Sims holds, and I can't wait to have everybody know everything.
I can't wait to know everything either.
I'm terrible at keeping secrets. I don't know why they have me do this.
It's all right. I won't try and prod you too much.
Thank you.
But what has been your favourite, so we asked about your favourite pack on The Sims 4, but what's been your favourite iteration to work with from The Sims altogether?
Sims 4, definitely. So, My Sims is that's where my heart is. I love the little My Sims characters. I had a blast working on that, in the past. But as far as, the Sims, Sims 4 by far is been, I think, my favorite one to work on. I think it has some really amazing, robust tools. And again, just watching the kind of community grow and evolve over these last several years has been really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the best overall of all The Sims. I have a very soft spot in my heart for The Sims 2. I think that's because it was my first one and it was just incredible.
I feel like they all have ups and downs, right? Yeah. It's not that one's better or worse than the other one. I feel like it's what are you specifically talking about? What feature are you talking about, or what specific experience are you talking about? And sometimes you're going to find Sims 2 does better, Sims 3 does better here, Sims 4 does better here. And I think that's just kind of the nature of video games. Over time, it's not things reinvent, things change, some things get better, some things arguably get worse. It's just kind of a matter of subjectivity and opinion, but I'm really just proud of how much content has gone into The Sims 4 since we launched it.
Oh, it's huge amounts.
So much stuff.
So much. And all the community content, like mods and custom content, it's just incredible. There's just so much.
Yeah, I love our modding community. I love it. It's always I always feel uncomfortable talking about it because I want to stress we're not outsourcing our work to modders. It's not like we're going to put out an unfinished thing and let the modders do it. No, not at all. We take what we do seriously and we have a lot of pride in what we put out. But man, modders have some freedom that maybe we don't have. They can get some pretty risque mods out there that are so much fun to play with. My only real sadness about modding is that it's not accessible to console players. So that is always something that is on our mind. Is we appreciate our modding community and think they do fantastic, but we also know there's an element of our community that doesn't have access to that. So we have to do right by the game on its own to make sure that they have as good of an experience as everybody else. I suppose there may be room to add it in the future. I don't know how easy that kind of stuff is, but obviously when Skyrim came to Xbox One, it then had mods. It's not very accessible in terms of searching for things, and it's not a great mod front, but it did enable console players to play with the same mods that PC players have been playing with for years. So there's always opportunities to improve. I think a good example of that was, hey, Gallery wasn't around for console players for the longest time, and now they have it, and that's awesome. And I also remember, it wasn't too long ago that Sims would release on PC, and then months later you might get the console release, and now they come out same day, same time. There's no difference between them. I really appreciate that. But yeah, there's always room to improve and grow, and we're always looking at those things. And what about The Sims 5? How far away in the future is that? Is it even a thing you're thinking of? Because I always think of The Sims 4, with a lot of modern games, they're kind of like live services now, so a lot of things can kind of be done without needing a whole new game. But I'm just curious, are we making a Sims 5? What did you hear?
Are you making a Sims 5?
Oh my gosh.
Are you making a Sims 5?
They only let me out of a little windowless closet to do interviews like this. I really have no idea. So, I can't really speak with any authority on any type of future stuff that we're doing, but love hearing all the feedback and love seeing all the speculation for sure.
Yeah, okay. And what did you think?
If you hear anything, let me know. Let me know. I could use the info.
I will do. I'll let you know what they're up to. I'll let you know what these Sims 5 people are up to, so don't think it's the same people that you work with. And what did you think of the Sims Urbz? Sims Urbz, that's a blast from the past, man. Sims Urbz was fun. It definitely had a totally different feel and kind of style. Versus now, I like that console players have the exact same experience that PC players do. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Urbz was fun. I definitely see a lot of love for that expressed online. It seems like it's one of those ones that's forgotten compared to some of the other Sims entries of the past, but the people that remember it are very passionate about it. Yes, it definitely splits conversations when I mention it. Some people are like, really? And I'm like, no, but really. So I'm a big fan. I really liked the Black Eyed Peas album Elephunk at the same time. So being able to hang out with the Black Eyed Peas and listen to their album at the same time was really good. But yeah, go back to Sparked. So you chose to invite current Sims creators so that they'd have fans like rooting for them. But the next couple of series, or the next series at least, is going to be like people who have won from the gallery uploads. So how do you expect interest to still kind of be there for the show?
So what I would probably say is like, yeah, we picked some of the most prolific simmers out there for season 1. But I would also argue that like, hey, if you went and found a bunch of people that were watching the show, they don't recognize every person across the board. There might be 2 or 3 people they recognize. So I don't think we picked these contestants necessarily because they have, millions and millions of followers and that's who's going to watch the show. I think we picked them because we know how talented they are. We've been watching them grow their Sims kind of channels and content over time, and we've seen how much time they put into this game and the quality that they output. So I think just from a perspective of, we wanted really good simmers to come in and we wanted to challenge them very much so. So we needed to pick people that could rise to that occasion. The dozen of them are amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
I think we did good. And now with the gallery challenges, that's going to open this up to a whole new area of simmers. So I'm quite excited to see kind of what tricks could be in store.
I'm really excited to see the next couple of series as well. I'll be honest, when I first heard about Sparked, I was like, is that going to be what I want to watch? And then I was hooked. So what can I say?
Good. It hasn't been done before. It could go in a lot of different directions. So I can totally understand, people having a bit of an apprehensive feeling. But hopefully once you start watching it and you kind of get the vibe of it, you start feeling good. Start loving the contestants and you hating the judges.
Well, not hating the judges. No.
So sweet.
But yeah, no, I definitely found myself rooting for teams that I didn't know anyone in. Like I know a lot of the creators that are in there, but I don't know some of them. And I was just, I didn't think I was going to get as attached to some of the people in there as I did.
It was so much fun being around them for this show. There was just like a infectious, fun energy throughout the whole thing. Like every time, the camera would stop rolling, they'd be coming together and singing totally inappropriate songs. And, it despite all of the pressure and challenge that they had to go through, it was a really fun time with them. It really was.
It did look really fun. It did look very stressful, but it looked very fun, and that's often the best pairing.
I don't think it was very stressful.
It looked stressful. I would have been stressed.
From my seat, I don't think it was as stressful, but they definitely were put through some pretty hardcore challenges, for sure.
I think some of the edits as well made it look a lot more stressful. Coming from a video editor's perspective, like I can see how you can manipulate it to make it look like it's a lot more, like, scary than it is, because it looked scary. You weren't as scary as I thought you were going to be, because people thought you were going to be like the Simon Cowell of the show.
No, I was nice in every single thing.
Yeah, nice in every single thing. Yeah. So, I guess one of the things I want to talk about is spiral staircases and bunk beds. Just as a general concept, not necessarily in The Sims 4, what are your feelings on spiral staircases and bunk beds?
I love them both. I think they're both awesome requests, would be amazing additions. Again, can't speak to any future content. What I will say on both of those, they definitely present some pretty significant technical challenges. So it's not easy for us. So not saying it's not going to happen or it is going to happen, but it is definitely a large undertaking for us, for sure. Yeah. Which I think, especially like with something like spiral staircases, I think if you look to the modding community and you don't find any mods in that area, that's usually a pretty good sign of its difficulty to pull off. If it's easy, not saying modding is easy, it is not at all. But if it is easier to access through mods, you'll usually see those hit the market. But something like Spiral Staircases is a big one. It's a really big one.
You can see that a lot of the things that exist in modding exist because there are ways to do it already in the Sims or whatever.
Everybody that's working on The Sims, we all have like a list, like an ever-growing list of like, these are the things that we want and need and should have. So it's just a matter of like time and people and when to get things out. So it's just always just a challenge. There is always more things that we want to do than we can do in the moment. So so we're hungry. We're hungry to like get stuff out.
Maybe that new pack leak that you haven't seen, but maybe it could be a like staircases factory add-on pack, and maybe your Sims go down to the factory and make a staircase, or maybe it's a carpentry pack.
I'm gonna have to like research this alleged leak. That sounds crazy.
Oh, look, it's ambiguous. It could be anything, and my money is on bunk beds and staircases. Maybe it's a joint factory. Would you have a shop that did that? Both of those things? I don't know, but that's basically the end of my questions for today. But thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful chatting.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome chatting back with you.
If you enjoyed this video, please do like it and subscribe to VG247. We cover all sorts of different games here on the channel, so there's always something for everyone. Click on the cards on screen now to see our Sims 4 building tips and also our review of the Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching. See you again soon.